Bidi, Part 1, Quebec. December 3rd, 2019. Well, Bidi is with you and he greets you.
Brothers and sisters, hello Bidi.
Before starting our talks, we settle first in silence and peace. Silence. We are now going to let the questions and answers come in order to progress in awakening and remembering who you are. So I listen to you.
Thank you, it's a testimony. Hello Bidi, 60 years ago, I got married, and my spouse liked to give nicknames to his brothers and sisters, which corresponded very well to the personality of each person. Pregnant, I was wearing a garment, which was a camisole, to keep warm, and one fine day my husband said to me, "You are wearing biddies." I didn't know what that meant and I never did. I became Madam Bidi, and this nickname is still used by my in-laws as a sweet word. I have been listening to you for years. Imagine my surprise when I saw your name on AD, and your voice at the beginning reminded me that since my childhood I have always been fascinated by authority, and above all very respectful. Example, my father, the director of the convent. I really liked these people. I did not know at that time that this person was me, and that I had within me this same authority which has been present in my life, but which is no longer part of me, since agape is the key to joy and of freedom. I was really shocked the first time I heard your voice. Like many brothers and sisters, I tried to understand until the day you explained that it was to shake us or cross us, and I confirm that you succeeded in my case. This is why I wanted to testify to this story, which seems banal, but which is not chance, since chance does not exist. Oh, I forgot to mention that I never smoked a single biddy, and had smoker's cancer in my 40s. Thank you and I love you. Can you enlighten me on this, please?
But what do you need to understand? My name is Bidi. My name is Bidi, and there are certainly dozens who are called Bidi. It's simply a resonance, or if you prefer synchronicity. There is no other explanation to provide. It is always the mind that wants to know why. The important thing is not the why but the resonance. There is indeed resonance. As you said, the nickname I chose when I came back to express myself corresponds to what I made and smoked during my professional activity. Don't see anything other than this resonance. Don't look any further. Don't ask yourself these kinds of questions again. There too, I would say, be content to welcome and cross, because it will always be the mind, the person, who wants to know, a certain rationality, even within the invisible, which has no place to be. It is a mechanism of synchronicity that has no other justification than to experience resonance at any level. That is the most important thing. The rest is superfluous and can only lead to a satisfaction of a curiosity, certainly legitimate, but which will in no way bring you more agape or more joy. But I thank you for your testimony, which calls for no other justification or explanation. As you said, and as I see here that the sound system is particularly powerful, the goal is to cross, to let you cross, beyond my words, by what my words carry. What you call the vibral, what you call the truth, whatever words I use, my words are not made only for your ears, nor to break them, but much more to penetrate directly, beyond any comprehension, directly into the heart of the heart. As you said, it was effective for you, but it is also effective in the same way when I come to visit you at night, in silence, whether or not you see my presence. The important thing also at this level there, it is the communion of the hearts, the resonance and the installation in the absolute, its rediscovery rather, it's lived. Keep on going.
Hi to you Bidi. I never have any questions because I am more and more in the truth of the present moment and of agape. I take advantage of this moment to thank you for the help you bring to the humanity of the dream. Gratitude.
I thank you. I have nothing else to add in relation to that. I thank you all, both those who see me, perceive me, and those who feel nothing, in the same way. I remind you that I am within you, even beyond my earthly identity. and that the resonance that is established by our meetings, at night, by the words that I pronounce, becomes more and more easy and easy. This undeniably proves to you that you are getting closer, if I may say so, more and more to the essentiality of life, manifesting itself through you. And this is a great joy, I would even say more, an interior jubilation to see the results of my presence, of my words, and of what I was able to explain during my incarnation, which were intended to prepare the moments that you live. We can continue.
It moves a lot, the earthquakes. Is there a link with the San Andreas Fault in the United States?
But it is in connection with all the faults. You enter the mechanism of expansion of the earth which follows the expansion of your consciousness, of the supramental, and above all the discovery and the experience of the truth that you are and have always been, and which shakes the foundations of the dream and of course the earthly mantle. It is the same for all the climatic activities, which are in fact only the upheaval of the discovery of the truth, of the experience of the truth, which literally puts an end by your presence, by your love, to the illusion of this dream, to the myth of creation. Many of you, here as elsewhere, have somewhere revealed and awakened in yourselves the initial state, which I remind you is nothing other than the final state, which does not depend on any form, on any world, nor of any pseudo-individuality. Most of you experience the discovery of unity, the primacy of love over all the activities of the person. Love which takes up all the space in an increasingly obvious way on the components of your ordinary life, not only superimposing itself on it, but also replacing it. You are all in this process, whether you are informed or not doesn't change anything. Collectively, you are in the phase where the observation, the observer, are more and more present, more and more effective, in the resolution of illusion. It is happening right now. It makes you happy, even if there may be some apprehensions when the unknown is not fully revealed, but which is inevitable. The circumstances of your experience can only lead you to the capitulation of consciousness and of the person, thus realizing the collective present moment of what was named by the commander, the event. You are the event and you are the advent of what has always been there, but which had been forgotten. Nothing can deceive you any more about the meaning of life, even if you don't understand anything about your life. Life is much more important because it does not depend on any individuality, on any condition, or any restriction. There is total freedom, which needs no experience, which needs no proof other than your own recognition. The great joy, through and thanks to the slump, elemental, societal, planetary, of the whole solar system and of creation, only reacts to the intensity of your revelation and the experience of truth, not dependent on any history nor any condition. And as it has been said by innumerable voices, in this current period, you still have to go through certain elements which are only remnants, memories, linked to the habit of form, to the habit of consciousness, which over the eons of the illusion of time made you forget who you really were. This recognition of yourselves cannot fail, nothing can deceive you in this ultimate truth, which is to be lived. Everything will be given to you, not explanations, not logic, but the naked truth of who you are, before the dream and after the dream. Where there is no more time that can pass, where there is no longer space for the slightest suffering, for the slightest doubt, for the slightest questioning, and which results in an acceptance, by a crossing, and which inevitably leads to an ease of living what is to be lived for you, on the stage of the theatre as for the observer, consuming each other in a way, to let the naked truth reappear within the eternal eye. I had said it while being embodied, creation will pass, the universes will pass, but you will never pass. As I said, and this is not a figment of the imagination, you were never born, you were never dead. It's a game that you played, that you wrote yourself in order to be sure to find yourself in the collective moment. Each wrote their own scenario, their own unfolding of their revelation, of their return to the truth, in every possible way. You are left, and this was explained a short time ago, to say yes, but not yes to anything, yes to life, yes to what is, whatever the appearances, whatever the sufferings, and whatever the doubts. There is a form of inner certainty which is already present, which you just need to let be beyond any request and any questioning. Remember, in the sometimes difficult times that you may have to experience individually and collectively, that it is precisely this that allows you to remember who you are, beyond being, beyond games of consciousness, beyond form, and beyond any universe. You have always been present, despite the appearance of form, despite the theater stage, and despite all the suffering. To accept this is already to live it, to agree to this is to be free. This is neither positive thought nor positive affirmation, but the affirmation of the truth, which perhaps is still unknown to you, for many, but which can only hatch in this way. Let be what is, take care of your life in what there is to solve, but do not mix any element other than the specific materiality of the theatre scene. Except to play the game, you cannot leave the stage before the end, but you know that you are only an actor until the final clap, until the curtain falls on the theatre stage. The theatre exists, you are confronted with it every minute since you are inscribed in this bag of meat, which is in fact also and simply the temple, the heart of the heart, as you call it. Remember that beyond simplicity, there is also a notion of ease, and even if this does not appear to you, even if it seems eccentric or incongruous to you, it is precisely thanks to this striking aspect of your functioning within the form, which puts an end to the illusion of the form, which puts an end to the attachment of consciousness, to this body as well as to history. The more your disposition is that of reception, the more possibilities there are for resolving whatever may still seem resistant or unseen to you. Zero time, agape, is the balm that puts an end to all wandering, and also very soon, for a multitude among you, that puts an end to suffering, pain, and questioning. You will then just have to take advantage of life, through your life. Everything will indeed be, for a greater number of people, more and more simple, more and more obvious, and more certain. This is why the ancients, like Abba, spoke to you at length about the habits, automatisms, conditioned reflexes linked to taking successive forms within the illusion. And I can even tell you that in the events that may happen to you, of whatever nature, some of you had decided to be shaken within habits, within a certain comfort. This shaking is necessary for you, in the same way as the activity of the elements on the earth, because it is precisely in these moments, when there is a questioning on the processes which take place in your life as on the theatre stage of the whole planet, as in the cosmos, that there is the shaking, a little like my voice, which allows you to smash the illusions, to break the dikes of the love that you are. Do not judge anything, do not condemn yourself, this is exactly what you have chosen. And I even say that the more you are in opposition to what can happen, in your body or in your life, the greater the capacity to be and to find freedom. Do not judge yourself, do not condemn yourself, there is nothing to improve on your own, there is simply to let the intelligence of life, the intelligence of light, and the supreme intelligence of the truth. All the means are good to disaccustom you, to disencrust you of the illusion of the conscience and the form. All of you who testify, or who experience it, like the few testimonies we have had, are absolute proof of this, which it is up to you to verify for yourself, not in some daydream, not by fleeing your life, but precisely by accepting it. This is how you are free, this is how you find yourself. You have given yourselves to life, and life will give it back to you 100-fold, every day and every minute, by this inner joy, by this evidence who is there. Whatever the failings of your life, this is exactly what you have decided to be sure to wake up, to be sure to recognize yourself, beyond all trauma, all memory and all questioning present on what is happening on the screen of your daily life. And I also remind you that in times that may be difficult, either in your body or related to cosmic, climatic and earthly events, that you will have the most opportunities to be freed from all conditioning, from all submission, to society and illusion. It's not a fight, it will never be a struggle, whatever you think, but much more a surrender to who you really are, especially if you don't know it yet. All the other strategies aiming to oppose, to fight against, to want to solve by yourselves or by any external authority, whatever its science, that you affirm yourself in the eternal I, this is also done to show you that there is no fear of the unknown, of the future, of anything else, that can hide the truth. The unmasking is total, each according to his own circumstances, which, I remind you, were written from the initial moment of the dream. You only browse what you have written. It may seem difficult for the character to accept, to believe that we ourselves wrote the suffering rather than the joy. But suffering also leads you to joy. The human person is never as strong as when it is shaken to its foundations, and this burst of personality inevitably leads, despite the suffering, and I would even say thanks to the suffering or the resistance, to this naked truth. You wrote the screenplay, we wrote it together. You are at the origin, as you are at the end. You just wandered through the dreams, gradually forgetting who you truly were beyond all history. It is so, it is your choice, and the more unfair, difficult, or incomprehensible it seems to you, the closer you are to the truth. It is when you are shaken, when the usual automatisms of the apparent security of society show you the fallacy of all that has been built within this dream. There is nothing to judge, this is neither good nor bad, but, I repeat, this is the screenplay you wrote to end any screenplay. So do not curse, do not balk, welcome always and always more what is there. I have said it countless times, what must happen will happen no matter what you do, and what must not happen will not happen no matter what you do. This is not an admission of powerlessness, on the contrary, it is simply the most appropriate way, from the chaos of the dream which becomes a nightmare, which will allow you to rediscover yourself. Whatever number you are released today on this earth, which is constantly progressing each day and each week of your illusory time, only brings you collectively closer to the truth. Even if it is shatteringly detestable, you will only be able to laugh and smile at it once you have gone through it. A gape creates a state, within the character, the person, within the ephemeral itself, a kind of convergence and concordance between the illusion of the dream and the truth. Between the simulacrum, as Abba would say, and the sacred. The simulacrum and the sacred come together at the same moment, which is the moment of the collective resolution of the dream. Well, you can continue.
There are no more written questions.
So who is coming to be executed next door? Laughs.
Hello Bidi, this will be my second execution in the end, since following the meeting, I don't know if it's the last. In Tunisia, a sister who asked for a suggestion for her sister, to help her because she was depressed, so you suggested she listen to Bidi on repeat for at least 3 hours. So I found that I was somewhat in resistance in my character. So one morning I sat down and listened to Bidi for 3 hours, moreover I have been following the audios, the conners regularly for quite a while, but listening to an hour and a half is fine, but when I arrive at 2 o'clock, naturally the character sometimes, they find a lot of occupations, things to do, excuses if one can say so, at the end of 3 hours, but there I kind of try to do it set aside as much as possible, Don't get distracted, stay available, and I did the 3 hours.
I heard. And?
The good news also is that, absolutely, as you say, as I also live when I listen to Bidi, so I tended to fall asleep, which, this time, for a while, when I listen to you, I stay awake, I stay present, without sleeping. So well, that was the first two things, I say. The character could not have let me get too distracted, I didn't sleep, and well, afterwards, well, I didn't see of effect, but with me often the effect happens later, if I may say so. So well, deferred for me means the night, so I went to bed. Already I felt that my mind was calmer, then I went to bed, and then during the night maybe 2-3 hours of the time I woke up and there, well, I was all vibrating, it seemed to vibrate everywhere, and what I remember the most is that I was like, well, I don't know if you can call it white paradise, but for me everything was white, there was nothing else. And then at that moment, well, I got up a little bit, I saw what was happening and I went back to bed to complete the night. So it's for me a little bit the effect that it had on me.
Thank you for your expressed experience, but allow me to complete, if I may say so, the prescription. Laughs. And this is valid for everyone here and everywhere. I actually advise you at nightfall to start with 3 hours of Bidi, any of my interventions, to follow up with an hour of anal Waden just after, and to finish all that with an hour of Uriel. It is the perfect prescription of liberation for these times. You don't even need to think, you can adopt this prescription for anyone. 1. You are shattered, or angry, it doesn't matter. 2. Anal Waden comes to bring its joy and its freedom, and 3. Uriel comes to punctuate the ultimate passage of access to the heart of the heart. This prescription in these particular times is worth more than any cogitation, and will easily allow you, in the sometimes complex situations of your ephemeral life, to find serenity, a new form of sitting, which is no longer done through the hara but straight to the heart. As you have described, at that moment a vibration or a fire will run through you, each of you can verify it. Cross the embarrassment, for some, of my voice, and even if you fall asleep, you will invariably notice a new space of freedom which opens in you, a new space of certainty and evidence. The prescription is simple, the dosage does not need to be increased or even renewed, it is a minute treatment. Laughs. Its effectiveness is 100% guaranteed by Bidi. There is no better medicine, for you will reintegrate the 3-in-1, by being shattered by my voice, by being covered with the balm of the joy of freedom of anal Waden, and you will stabilize so through the vibration of Archangel Uriel, who you are. Can you tell us that after this experience, there were big changes?
I would say that what I can add, as you say, about the character being shattered, I felt that the character, in any case for I cannot say how long, 24, 48 hours, was very afraid to come forward, he didn't dare, he was really in the background, then he didn't dare too much to be there. Laughs. And then it went on for a while, yes. Then, what I could perhaps also say, another thing, when I listened to Bidi, I had, in relation to your prescription, it also happened to me when I listened to Bidi prior to this experience. Sometimes yes, it comes, as you say, smash at the level of the character, and precisely, as perhaps it's a smash, I would say, which is not violent, it's just that the character, we have the impression it goes out, but all the same. Sometimes I would listen to Abba afterwards, because I had the impression that Abba also has a certain softness, so it kind of compensated for the character, a little, so that's what. Laughs.
Well, thank you. Applause and laughter. Let's continue. Next execution. Laughs.
Before asking you a Bidi question, I would just like to say, personally, when I take Bidi for me, what you do, the inner beauty divinizes the moment.
What's the last word?
The present moment. For me, Bidi is what he does. Now, here is my question. Does Bidi today have any new things for Quebec?
Why, there has already been something for Quebec apart from my coming at 11 p.m. on your hour. Laughs. You want another date, right? Laughs. Is that what you want? Request.
I want to know if in Quebec they will have new events that will happen soon.
Ah yes, that's for sure. But it's the surprise, it's the multicolored month. The commander told you you're going to see all the colors, but the joy will be more and more present. It's always been said, the more the chaos will grow, the more you will be happy. Not from a morbid joy of chaos, but the morbid joy of finding yourself through the chaos of the ephemeral. So yes, in this beacon of humanity, as the commander said, there are also a certain number of events preceding the collective event, which is already being actualized. Do not worry about the nature of the surprise, just be lucid, and what I say for you in Quebec is valid in all regions of the world. Just be lucid and present, whatever your eyes will give you to see, to hear, or live in your body. You will see the inexorable progression of joy and lightness, no matter how hard and difficult the ephemeral may be. The chaos of the ephemeral is certainly not a destruction, but a return to truth. Only the ego sees destruction, only the conscience sees a drama. What you are sees joy there. And even those who will consider this as a drama will be surprised to find that they will still be in spite of everything in this joy and this new freedom. Do not be alarmed by anything, live your life and life in what it gives you to live. Do not balk at anything, go through all this, remain calm and motionless, in relation to the events, the surprises, which will occur regularly henceforth and without interruption. What you call climatic upheavals is ultimately, despite what the commander had said about the power of the elements, only an interlude, and only a first stage in the unfolding of the collective process. You will be supported by the truth which will spring from your heart, which will flood your conscience, but also your body, whether it is by the intense vibrations or by the intense heats, which will no longer lead to fear at all, but to great joy. You will laugh at yourselves, especially if today you cry, for one cause or another. No one can escape from himself. There is nothing to flee, there is nothing to avoid, there is just to say yes to what is. It has already been experienced, from the initial moment you have simply forgotten it. And I can say that even fear or pain, whatever it is, will transmute itself into joy, the moment you remain still, the moment you are the observer, the moment when you nod. So yes, to answer your question, it seems to me that it is the whole of the earth, in what the commander explained to you many years ago before I even came. He had spoken to you about all this long before it happened, and always with the specificity, as some have said, of the carrot and the stick, which is the proper pedagogy of the dear commander. Everything has been done, I repeat, everything has been written to bring you in the safest, most reliable way, whatever the ephemeral events, in you or around you, to rediscover yourself. Accept this idea and you will live it. This brings moreover at this moment for some of you, here as everywhere, perhaps moments of discomfort, where you no longer know who you are or where you are. This vagueness will not last. It is simply related to the installation of the truth and the deployment of the event on the surface of this world as in the whole of the sky, which is visible to you from the earth. As you can see, everything is changing, not just the climate. If you lift your eyes to the heavens, you will see that the clouds are no longer as before, that everything that worked in society no longer works, that all the conditioned reflexes of your habits and behaviors become heavy. This sometimes results, despite the joy, in a feeling of not knowing where you are or who you are within the ephemeral. This is the installation of agape. What you are can bring nothing, from any history, from any memory, from any trauma, since as has been said you join the initial instant, virgin of any dream, virgin of any projection, and of all consciousness. The witness of truth is joy, whether this joy is interior and silent or exuberant, because the decoration is consumed, giving you to perceive, really, concretely, that all this is only a dream to which the habit of the form has bound you and enclosed you. The truth doesn't need stories, the truth doesn't need this memoir, I said it, but the truth is what it is, it doesn't depend on any point of view, on any personal opinion, of no positioning of the conscience and of no scenario, even written. Something to add?
Thank you.
Has he already escaped? Laughs.
Thank you.
He said thank you.
I heard it from afar. Laughs. Next.
I would like to testify. Can you hear me well? Before, I would like to thank Johan and Eve for receiving me, and then Jean-Luc, Elodie, and Louis too, for all the work you do. Thank you very much, Bidi, for your presence since 2012 that you kick my ass. It's French, right? Okay. Well, I would like to testify, many things to say. I will try to synthesize. When the word home came, so quickly acceptance, for a week and a half it meant nothing to me, but I knew Alcoholics Anonymous, they had a prayer, God, give me the strength to accept all of this in any case. Although, after a week and a half, the word welcome started to settle in, I felt that, a warmth and acceptance. Well, it was hard to accept things, and more the more I accepted what was not acceptable. I see a romancer, chiropractor, once a week, and then he spends his time saying, Paul, let go. Your spine is going to crack. You have too much on your shoulders. I started to clear my shoulders as I accepted. And today, it's so easy to accept what the person wants to keep, to agree to let go of that even when I was coming from there, I wasn't going fast. Today, by car on the road, there is one that hit me in the behind. There I looked at him. I said to him, I forgot the word. Agape, agape, agape. There I felt a joy to have a tape ass behind. It's French, that? Laughs. And then I was looking at the guy and then, I don't know, it seems to me that I was happy that he was there. Laughs. I had dropped that, but the person was something else. I have a continual struggle between the person and the light. I realize that the person is very limited. The ego do not even talk about it. And then the person, and too bad. I think it was Jean-Luc who first said that at some point, the mind is at peace, and indeed, it's true. And then, the more it goes, the more I become aware, not of the incompetence, but of the lack of skills of the person in everything. And then I'm happy to see that. Finally I said, well listen, you can't do anything, we'll ask light intelligence. There, I surrendered that, very clearly, openly to the light. I wasn't playing the game, there, that the person was trying that to try to get the light thing like I often did before. And then, there, I started to have a distance between the person and the light. Then, I'm happy, it allows me to see that, the light, it is she who will progress in there and not the other. It makes all of this lead me to accept even what is happening in the moment. I was supposed to be here Sunday night. I turned around. I had to play watchdog at home. And then, every time, I have a 34-year-old son. He's been gone for 10 years. Today he may be roaming or what. It doesn't bother me, because I think we're all itinerant, with a wallet or not, it doesn't matter. And then, we fight, even physically. And then, lately, I received him in agape. I felt the agape. And then, I waited, I watched. And I realized that, often, when we are parents, I will not speak of parents for life there. When we are parents, young children mirror our behavior. And he, well, I think, somewhere, he has to do the same thing. That's where I wait. But I know he wants to get home, come home and then control the place. That doesn't work. There are others at home. And then, but it's there. I'm starting to wonder at the moment, with everything that's going on, maybe he's subject to energies, I wouldn't say negative, but foreign. And then, I begin to accept his drooling behavior. I've already been drooling, that's why. And then there, I see it the same way. My wife is completely different, but the bond between the son and then the mother, it's still there. Then it's very intense. I don't want to cushion the two either. In terms of acceptance, I find it fun, because my shoulders are lighter than before. I go less often to the picker. And then, I'm happy, very happy to have my ass kicked again by Bidi. Thank you, Bidi. You allow me to address you. It's easier for me than formal formalities. Formal formalities, that belongs to the person.
Well, thank you too. Just tell me, your butt doesn't hurt too much? Laughs.
I already had good kicks in the ass when I was young, wow. It didn't get past that. Laughs.
Remind me the next time I come to see you, to aim for another spot. Laughs.
What did he say?
He'll aim for another spot.
There's no need to kick ass anymore.
Yes, it's true, because you told us that at 11 p.m. you don't even have to be there. You're already inside.
Need to break your heart now. As you said in your testimony, there is a kind of back and forth between the light and the character. This game is seen, it is experienced. I remind you that the comings and goings between the person and the truth are only there to completely disgust you with the dream, be it the most pleasant, or be it the most unpleasant. This is how the certainty of agape, the certainty of what you are, takes up more and more time and more space. Can you confirm this?
Oh yes. Disgust sets in. Disgust settles in my journey.
So remind me not to kick you anymore, but to hug you. Thanks.
Thanks to you too, Bidi.
See you tonight. Laughs.
I won't tell you where.
Applause. By tonight, I won't have forgotten what I just said.
Our brother has something to add.
Add.
Since you said it was not necessary to be there at 11 p.m., I am no longer here at 11 p.m. because the times I went there, I said to myself,
it won't be at 11 p.m.
I got tired of that. It's the character who wanted. I said, shit. Since you said to someone, oh, I tell you, I wanted to add something, okay.
Oh, it will be a special session, say at midnight.
Well, I'll be at the computer at midnight. I'm a night owl myself. I wanted to say something too. Bidi, Belgium, first question. Answer that lasts 15 minutes. I freaked out. On tape, on the recording tape of Bidi, Belgium. Bidi, Tunis, from minute 52 on tape until minute 70, it's very quiet, but it's really full. I flipped. Maybe that's the kicks. Thanks again. I will listen to you.
Don't wait for me, it will be a surprise. See you soon.
Yes, see you soon.
We can continue.
I come to you for a total crucifixion.
Can you repeat that?
I come to you for a total crucifixion.
I don't know how to drive the nails. Laughs.
In your arms, on your heart.
So there, yes. We're going to do a group package for tonight, huh? And then?
It's a little in the continuity of a brother earlier. We know that in June here in Quebec, Abba calls us the beacon of humanity.
Can you repeat that, please? The voice does not pass through the connection.
Okay. In June, at the meeting last June, following that, Abba or Jean-Luc called Quebec the beacon of humanity. And I would like that, what I feel inside, the fact that having participated in the organization in June, the fact of having participated in the organization in June, and that in July, the intelligence of the light pushed so much in me to redo another meeting in December, the one we are currently experiencing. And that in July, the intelligence of the light was pushing so much in me to organize the meeting of the now again. And I feel like something's been sealed off. It left Quebec and it had to come back to Quebec before the end of the year. It's obvious to me. I felt that something was closed, because it left Quebec in June, and that there was to be another meeting in Quebec before the end of the year, and that there was to be another meeting in December before the end of that same year. Do you have something to tell us about what happened during all these months? The fact of leaving in June and coming back in December, in this push that I felt in me. Do you have anything to say about this period between the two meetings, since our sister felt that it was pushing a lot inside her? Reorganizing a second meeting.
You followed what the intelligence of the light suggested to you, and of course, you are well placed to know that it was not a personal interest, far from it, but a general interest. Far beyond those who are here. Wherever I express myself through Abba. Wherever Abba goes, and wherever you join him, you create a form of synergy and amplification of revelation like no other. Do not have any fear, it is not a decision which came from your person, but which came from the intelligence of the light. You must also have noticed that in terms of the organization, management and progress of the preparations, it must have been much more fluid and much easier. What do you want me to confirm more than what you yourself perceived? I can only give you a confirmation, but you already had your answer inside of you, didn't you?
Yes.
Thanks.
But at the same time, when I heard OMA, at the last meeting, who talked about Black November and that here in Quebec, the beacon of humanity, November 1st, we were in the dark, and what I feel in me is that there is something else that will be told to us for the month of December. Well, maybe at that time, the speakers will say it when they feel it, but for me, it's like something obvious inside me that there's something else that's going to be said to leave this place.
Why are you talking about September?
From November.
Yes, I heard that, but there was the month of September after?
No, she mentioned that in December she felt there was something else that could be announced or said.
I'm not sure I understood. I heard, but I don't understand what the request is. Or questioning.
What I am expressing is that we knew that the month of November was Black November.
So what?
Good. And here, in Quebec, which is the beacon of humanity, on the 1st of November, we had a breakdown.
Yes, I heard that, but what's the connection?
And, what I feel, what light intelligence places within me, is that in December, there are other things that are going to be revealed, on why that, there is a meeting in December and not having just had one in the spring of 2020. There is something that grows about being here right now. Well, in any case, we let it be. It's just, I was expressing something that I feel with such intensity.
Let me interrupt you and tell you something. Why do you ask yourself these kinds of questions? Since you had the impulse, that this impulse came from the intelligence of the light that you are. Why do you want to report to November? What link do you want to find there?
No, that's not it. It is not a question. It is that at the moment when, in the month of July, the intelligence of the light placed in me this evidence, this joy, this love, and it was to plan another meeting in December, I also had, at the same time, in me, that something would be revealed here, in Quebec, which will serve the whole earth, all the peoples, all the countries there. But I was wondering if you had something to say on this, because I feel, with a strong intensity in my heart, that someone is going to say something important here.
But then, follow the intensity lived in your heart and do not follow your head.
No, but I was wondering if it was you who had to say it.
What?
She wanted to know if it was you who had to say or announce what she feels.
I do not understand.
Well, it doesn't matter.
I don't understand what you are asking. What is your point? If you have something to announce, announce it.
In any case, if it's me, it's not yet totally clear what I will have to announce. We'll talk again. Thanks. Then, total crucifixion in your arms and in your heart.
Light intelligence is simple. You had the impulse, we are here, why would you want anything else? You talk about the future at the level of an announcement. What are you talking about?
That's it, I don't know. It is the intensity of the light in me that revealed this to me. I don't know anything else, I don't question myself, it's not a question of the mind, it's…
Tell me, is the meeting over? No.
Siblings, no.
Perfect. Laughs.
Thanks. Applause. Install yourself in the moment of what is happening. If there is announcement, it will be. Whether it comes from you or from me, or from someone else, or from ABBA, doesn't matter. But don't go faster than the music.
Yes, but it's been 5 months for me.
Our sister adds that it's been 5 months for her. That she lives it.
What? Laughs.
This surge inside of her that there is something that needs to be revealed or added.
But yes. But it will come when it comes. As I said, the meeting is not over. Why announce to you, by your voice or by my voice, or by any voice, something to come, right in the middle of the present moment? It will come when it comes. By your voice or by another voice, it doesn't matter. In saying this, I am simply asking you to stay centered in the present moment. If there is ad, it has been written, this ad will emerge. Let things unfold as they unfold, and if there is announcement, it will emerge spontaneously. Whatever the voice that expresses it. But I see very well where you are coming from next year. But we are not next year. We are present here. I rather suggest that you soak up, immerse yourself in what is happening, there, in the moment. There is indeed a surprise, but if I say it now, it is no longer a surprise. Laughs. The surprise will come when it will be a surprise. And not a premonition or a presentiment, which is true, of course, I grant you, but which can, during this present moment, drift you towards the future, already. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Thanks. So, the surprise or the announcement, as you say, will come out when it should come out. Even though I know about it. Applause.
Here, that's what I knew he knew. Laughs.
Our sister adds, she knew that you knew.
In what present can we hear it?
Remember that, you like us, wherever we are, follow what has been written. Everything that unfolds has been written. Therein lies true freedom. But congratulations on your intuition.
It was the intelligence of the light that placed it in my heart.
Absolutely. So let's accept, you like me, like all the others, that things go as they should. Certainly, surprise and announcement there will be. But I would say, as usual, that it will be at the end of this meeting and not during. Okay?
That's fine.
Thanks. And parenthetically, I know you knew I knew. Laughs. We are waiting for the next convict.
Our brother is already installed.
In the end, it might be a little addition to what our sister said. That's it. If I, in the end, look at what happened before. And then, well, in relation also, as you say, the surprise. Well, what we can see, what Jean-Luc told us, among other things, during the last visit of ABBA, of Bidi, in Quebec, and then OMA too. So, Afterwards, we noticed, as Jean-Luc was saying, certain changes in Quebec or Canadian society. Protection of whales, there were also other events that came.
Immigration.
Immigration too. So there were events that happened. And then well, me, when I take part in the meeting, when I know that Jean-Luc will arrive, Abba will arrive, in the previous days, we already feel a certain presence. We feel that there is something going on. So, there is like an energy that is deposited, if I can say so, in the place, in Quebec, in Canada for that matter.
We can't hide anything from you. Laughs.
No. And well, that's for sure, we know that the meeting will give, well, as you say, a surprise, even later. We also know that, from the outset, things are happening with what is called the New Madrid Fault, and then the center of the United States. I don't know if it will be related to all these things. But, as they say, we'll see at that time.
I think the surprise will be much lighter and more pleasant than that.
So that was my compliment, so to speak. The certainty that, as they say, who goes, the influence or the energy, something more, yes, the more acceptance could settle.
I thank you. But as I say, you are all becoming, through the intelligence of the light, insightful. But it's great. This sort of thing delights me. But hey, it's not the day yet. That's all?
For now, yes.
Okay. Next.
Hello, Bidi.
Hello.
Good day to be here for us and good day to be here for everyone. I have been following the stakeholders, all the stakeholders including you for years, and I always accepted what was given. Seems to me that it was obvious. It was obvious, even if I didn't understand everything. So I never asked any questions or very few. Until Abba, when Abba came and talked about welcoming, about acceptance. So the practice, I put that into practice without resistance. When the primary anomaly arrived in this notion of the end of creation, and that there were no more dimensions, for me it was obvious. But it put me in a bit of a conflict in duality with others who knew more, in quotes, and who, which meant that I had to withdraw from those people. And I still haven't asked any questions. So today I feel at peace, but it is an extremely quiet peace. It's nothing exuberant, no visions, I don't have any of that. And the question I dare to ask today.
Blessed are the simple-minded. Keep on going.
Did I recognize myself?
But only you can answer this question. What confirmation do you expect from any outsider, even Bidi? Recognizing yourself can never be a question for anyone. It is an inner certainty. As long as there is the need for some confirmation, outside, even if I am in you, what does that mean? I don't want to know if you recognized yourself or not. It's your problem or it's your own reason, your own justification. But from the moment you ask me if you recognized yourself, I can on the other hand tell you that complete autonomy is not there yet. No answer, neither positive nor negative, in relation to your questioning, can be brought to you from the outside, by my voice. I can bring it to you internally by coming to see you, but not like that. It's been explained in countless ways. When you live it, you can only recognize yourself, without any possible doubt. There, I'm not saying that you didn't recognize yourself or that you recognized yourself. I simply draw your attention that, on the fact of asking this kind of questions, even if you recognized yourself, simply proves that complete autonomy has not yet been fully experienced. There is somewhere a need to be reassured, whatever your experience. And it's not a problem of the reality of your recognition, as I tell you, it's just a problem of autonomy and empowerment. I could tell you, the answer is in you, yes, of course. but the simple fact of asking anyone, even an embodied brother or sister among you, if you recognized yourself, simply proves somewhere, not a fear, not a suffering, but a form of hesitation. A form of procrastination or questioning that has nothing to do with your experience, but has to do with the mode of operation that you must know in your life, which is usual for you. That is, the need for confirmation, the need for certainty. Because you believe that through certainty and confirmation there will be greater peace, don't you?
Yes.
Peace is within you, it cannot come from outside. It is in this sense that I spoke to you about autonomy and empowerment. You have to break, somewhere, not by will, but by what happens spontaneously, these archaic reflexes of the personality which no longer have any place to be. Do you understand what I want to tell you?
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We can add, to finish in relation to your questioning, that the very fact, of course, you ask yourself the question, you ask it to me too, rather than letting be, or letting the truth that was born bloom. In your case, internally. I simply advise you not to question any more, nor to question yourself, but to be even more available and lucid in the moment. That's all. And you will thus develop, if I may say so, a new autonomy whose foundation is no longer in the characteristics of the personality or the character, but directly a foundation in the heart where there cannot exist the slightest doubt or the slightest space. Questioning your own experience. When there are visions, one can always wonder about the meaning, the why, the how. When there is also an energy, one can question oneself. But in the process of finding who you are, it no longer has to be. This is what needs to be clarified. The oscillations, the swings, the very entanglement between the ephemeral and the eternal, between the character and the absolute that you are, is ultimately there, not to have an answer and a certainty, but to enlighten the very game of questioning. When I was talking about empowerment and autonomy, it's simply no longer getting carried away, abused, by the characteristics of your personality. Even if she is no longer on the front of the stage, if I can say so, even if there is real recognition. You see, I finally answered you.
Thank you.
Next execution.
Bidi, we need a break.
Already? How long have I been talking?
About an hour and a half.
All right then. It is simply necessary to say for the listeners at what time we speak again.
In about 15 minutes.
So, see you in about 15 minutes. I'll let you air your ears. See you soon. See you soon.
All, thank you Bidi. See you later.
Bidi, Part 1, Quebec, December 3rd, 2019. Channeling by Jean-Luc Ayoun in French. Translated through Google Translate from original text at https://apotheos.live. APOTHEOSE. Thank you, Bidi.